"She's asleep," Callie said. She glanced at the three men in turn. "What's the problem?" she asked. Tarrant laughed hollowly. "Avon thinks we've been set up and Sleeping Beauty is a threat to us. What do you think? What do you sense?" "I sense nothing," Callie said. "But I think something is troubling her. I cannot guess what it is." "Well, that's a fat lot of good," Tarrant said disparagingly. "So much for telepathy." "Wake her up," Avon said firmly, "and bring her here." "What are you going to do?" Tarrant asked warily. Avon smiled. "I'm just going to ask her a few questions while she is still a little bit groggy. I would be grateful if you don't interfere until I am done." Tarrant seemed hesitant, but said to Callie, "Bring her here, like he said." "I agree, that makes it unanimous," Villa chimed in. "Not quite," Callie said. "She is vulnerable, Avon. I've seen the way you question those you suspect of wishing you harm. I remember when Blake first introduced me to our group. Instead of welcoming me, you were all for dumping me. And it's not that long ago you stuck a gun in my ribs. When I got in your way," added Tarrant. He smiled broadly. "But we forgive you." Pandora was nervous, as well she might be. Whilst Lazarus had warned her that Avon, above all others, might be a danger to her mission, she had not anticipated his disturbing, penetrating gaze and open hostility. Female intuition suggested that he was on to her, even if he could not be certain why. Thus she felt a shiver of dread when the previously kind and attentive Callie summoned her to the flight deck. Once there, she noticed that Tarrant and Villa sat to one side with Dana, where Callie joined them, but Avon walked slowly towards her, out of the shadows cast by Zen. Avon smiled. "Who sent you?" he asked, almost whispering. Pandora feigned puzzlement. "I don't know what you mean." "I think you do, but we'll put that aside for the moment. What are you supposed to do, now that you have succeeded, where so many others have not, in boarding the Liberator and gaining the confidence of its crew?" "Not your confidence, it would seem," Pandora said, gaining a little confidence herself. "I didn't ask to board the Liberator. Tarrant and Villa brought me here, out of the clutches of the Federation." "Nicely rehearsed," Avon said, "but the performance is somewhat lacking. Take all your clothes off." "What?" Pandora exclaimed as she backed away from him. "I want to know where you are concealing the device that will, if your controller has their way, destroy us. And, incidentally, destroy you. Perhaps you hadn't thought of that." Pandora glanced at the others. She didn't need to feign a degree of panic. Surely they would stop Avon's interrogation. But Tarrant merely yawned. Villa had his eyes closed, and the two women were impassive. "They won't help you," Avon said menacingly. "Where's the device?" He was standing very close to her now. Pandora shook her head and was about to speak when Avon struck her a stinging blow that set her back on her heels. A dribble of blood issued from her lips. "On the other hand, why don't we just dump you in space?" said Avon coldly. "It's as good a way as any of getting rid of your threat. It's your call." There was a heavy silence. Pandora wiped her mouth on the back of her hand. "Dump me anywhere you like," she said, "just so long as I can get away from you." Tarrant applauded that rejoinder. Avon glanced at him malevolently and said, "When I'm finished, Tarrant, you can crow over me if I'm wrong, but if I'm right, I might just be saving your life." Tarrant nodded. Villa, still seated, looked tense. Callie remained impassive. Avon looked coldly at Pandora. "Now, where was I?" Pandora attempted a defiant smile. She failed. But Avon